In three, two, one. Welcome back to another episode of not MDHTV, but the first episode of our new show
Matter of fact,
where we are going to be talking about things that, we think are a matter of fact. But before we get into that, we've been going for a while. How you doing? Before we even start get into it.
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm excited to get into our new show. I think this is going to be something special. We took some time to create this. Not that the last one wasn't special, but we were having just fun, just winging it. Like if you noticed, our production values have increased.
Yeah, we got a studio.
We're on 4K. We got it all. Um, so high definition, studio, all the good stuff. So excited about the next steps here. I think we got it down. How about you, man? What's
Yeah.
good?
I've been good, man. This last past year has been great for me. I studied abroad, went pretty much everywhere. I hit three continents, was in Japan, went to Egypt, was in Rome, London, all over Europe. So that was pretty fire. Got a new camera, which y'all are seeing this on if you're watching on YouTube. So definitely upgrading, just changing everything around. For those of you who may be wondering, like what happened to MDH? Is MDH dead? Yada yada. The answer is no. The short answer is no. And I'll go into this more, another time, probably not on this platform. But the short answer is me and Rob, we're both modern day hippies, but we are not the modern day hippies. We are not solely MDH TV because all of us are modern day hippies. If you're watching this, you're a modern day hippie. And that can look different in so many ways. So that's really was the driving point of our rebrand and everything and what we're trying to figure out. So we'll go more into that later. But, short answer is I've been good, man. Shit's been pretty fire. Braided my hair for the first time yesterday. So you like it?
Good, yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
Switching it up. I got my
Hey, the
hair
ladies
cut.
love it. I ain't even gonna
It's
lie.
nothing new, but it's
Yeah,
fresh.
yeah, I like it.
It's
Yeah,
fresh,
yeah, it's nice. You
So,
holding on?
so
Would you
yeah,
would
yeah.
you ever go baldy? Just straight
I
baldy.
mean, maybe eventually. I mean, it's
Yeah.
not a bad look, but it's actually maintenance to do that. So I'm as low maintenance as you can be. So I just let it grow and
Tight
cut.
shit,
You know
tight
what I
shit.
mean? Keep it simple. I'd probably wear a hat first.
Nah,
Progress, you know what I mean?
nah, feel you. Progress. Talking about progress, we're gonna segue into our first section of the show. Shit that doesn't matter, and what's on the top of everybody's news feed. What's the top thing of everybody's memes? Everybody's talking about it. Sean Diddy Combs was arrested for his freak offering. What was it exactly?
For all the shit,
Yeah.
it's been boiling in the pot for a while now. The rumors. I'm surprised he didn't run for it after it all came out the first
Man.
time. He was like, I'm just gonna deny it. But it's
Yeah.
like, bro, all the shit's there. Were they bust him at like 500 bottles of lube or something
Nah,
like
thousand
that?
bottles of
lube,
baby oil.
baby oil. Like
And people was like, yeah, there was a baby oil shortage. Nah. How freaky was these freak offs before?
Oh, it was mega, man. It was mega. Can you imagine rich people just like, you know what I mean? Like, if you have everything, you're doing wild shit. It's not just Diddy. Like, he wasn't the only one to have these parties. Like, there's other people that had parties, maybe not to his level, but they're going all over the place. They're getting young girls who are like, oh, I'm partying with whatever, doing what with rich people. You know that all the Instagram hoes, thoughts, whatever.
But Instagram
They're
wasn't
there.
around back then.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. But they're the same type that would have been there.
Tight shit.
And they were groupies, but they said industry people trying to get in there, whatever. Even strippers, prostitutes, call girls. That's what you do when you got crazy money like that. Like you, like yo, we could do anything. You're gonna do some wild stuff, like, and it probably wouldn't be legal, most of it.
Yeah.
Just being honest.
Especially back then, like when like
Thousand.
cameras and stuff wasn't like that. Like they had like the big ass like
Right? You
yeah.
got to freak off on VHS.
Yeah, bro, that's crazy. Like, damn. I mean, a lot of people definitely care about this right now. Um, I mean, do you think it's something to care about? Like, it is crazy. Like, don't get me wrong, because it's Diddy. Like it's not just like a B list celebrity, or even if you classify Diddy as a B list celebrity, he knows everybody. He was around everybody. He was around Jay Z. Like everybody's been to his parties. Like it's almost a bit like Epstein. Everybody was around Epstein. Everybody's been around Diddy in the entertainment kind of world. Not even just music, but just like it's Diddy, bro. Like so, what do you think like the implications of like all this is? Does this matter? You know,
So,
in the grand scheme of things.
in the grand scheme of things, does it matter to me and you? Not really. It's gossip. It's fun. Is it going to affect our lives other than entertaining us? No. They're entertainers and they're going to continue to entertain with their raunchy escapades. Let's just say that,
Yeah.
you know? But yeah, I think it could disrupt a lot of stuff if, you know, everybody's doing this and everybody gets exposed. You know, what level does that go to? But I don't think it'll get to that. I don't think, just like Epstein didn't come out. Oh, nobody was there. They don't know one of the dudes. You know
But
what I
they
mean?
got
Maybe
nah,
Prince
I don't
Andrew
know.
because he got busted, I guess. But even still, he goes, "Nah, it wasn't me." Even though they got his picture,
Yeah,
and they just leave it at that for the most part. You know, they're
that's
not gonna
because he a
get him for
prince
no.
though.
I guess so. He's the only one that all right. We could put him out there,
Yeah.
and they ain't gonna touch him still. But you know there was other people there who had a
So
name in Epstein's shit, but nobody got named and nobody got in trouble. Or if they did get named, they just got brushed under, and no consequences.
yeah, so like
So
the thing is, so like Diddy, he got charged with federal sex trafficking and racketeering. So it's like you know, everybody like keeps bringing up. I don't know if you've seen the Justin Bieber videos. They'll be like,
yeah, a lot of
"Bro,
those.
yeah, Justin Bieber was abused by him or whatever." And I don't know, like maybe,
That was probably true considering they harp on it so much. Um, I could see it. Justin Bieber was very young, but who knows?
yeah. I
Uh,
mean, Diddy was R. Kelly's legal guardian when he was young.
Diddy was a
Bro,
lot of
Diddy was
crazy.
around every. That's the
Yeah,
thing. Like, this not no regular degular. Like, yeah, y'all might not know about him. Like, depending on how old you are, for real. But
he
like,
killed Tupac. Diddy ordered the hit. He
for
didn't do it himself, but he ordered the hit.
hey,
That's the word out there. You can
I
look
don't
that
know.
up, but that's what they say. And you know he was running. He did a lot of crazy shit back then, and it was easy back then too. Any day, if you find somebody who a lot of these people were, they were like not coming from wealthy backgrounds and stuff. They were underprivileged. They're trying to get ahead, trying to go for that dream. So he knew that, and he preyed on that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, just it's like it's the classic case of, you know, like power. You know, if you give an individual power, they will abuse it. You know, like we've seen this throughout college experiments. We've seen this in real life action. Like we've seen this throughout reality and society for so many years. So it's like it's not surprising. Harvey Weinstein did the same thing. Jeffrey
Exactly.
Epstein did the same thing. So of course, like there would be a character like Diddy in the music realm. It's just like Diddy's not the only character, and that's the thing that probably matters the most about all of this is that Diddy's not the only person that's doing this. Like Epstein wasn't the only person that did it. Like Harvey Weinstein wasn't the only person that did it. So are we just going to cut it off and be like, damn, Epstein's crazy. Oh, he killed himself in jail. Is Diddy going to kill himself? Is the diddler going to get did?
They said
Is
he's
the
on
diddler going to
suicide
get
watch.
did? So that's the real question. So it's
Mm.
like, is it going to end with Diddy and now like everybody else, his hands are clean because we know other people are involved, and it's really the question is, do you want to know the names of those other people that's involved? What if it's your favorite artist? What if it's your favorite politician, your favorite actor, whoever? Do you really want to know? So I think that's the real question.
I do want to know. I mean, if it's out there, I want to know. You know what I mean? Because, like I said, does it matter? It don't matter to me. I don't care if these motherfuckers get in trouble for something they
That's
did. Because
facts.
if it was me, I'd probably be getting in trouble. If they're getting in trouble, then you definitely getting in trouble.
Hell
You
yeah.
know what I'm
My
saying?
black ass going
So
to jail.
exactly right
I'm going
away.
under the jail.
You know, do not pass go. You know, just go
Yeah.
right to jail. So, um, yeah, I would want to know the names. I think it. if you ever want to stop this shit, that's the way to do it because that's what's going to scare people. It's like, all right, we got away with it because you probably had some people that was in the Epstein, and they're in with Diddy because he took over.
Yeah, it's probably the same people.
I
It's
bet some of
definitely the
them.
same people, bro.
For sure. For sure.
At least a good number of them.
You don't just quit that stuff.
Yeah, bro. You don't like if you go into freak offs, that's very close to going to an island. Like that's just the next step. Going to the island for the freak offs, like yeah, Diddy he had us in New York, he had us in LA, but
exactly.
Epstein about to get to the island. We got a private helicopter, nigga. Like
super freak off.
Shit.
Nobody can
You
see
said
us.
the president gonna be there?
Nobody can see
Oh,
us.
okay. Bet. No, but yeah, ultimately, whether this matters or not is dependent on you and what you think matters in your life. But let's just say this won't matter as much as things that can actually and will actually happen within the course of the next 3, 5, even year from now, as much as you think. Like these are celebrity dramas, and if you're invested in that enough to where it's taking a toll on your daily, then so be it. But ultimately, this is shit that does not matter.
That does not matter.
But some shit that matters, right? Or should possibly matter is whatever your political beliefs are, it's a fact that one of the main two candidates had 2 assassination attempts on his life within the past 3 months.
So yeah, like 2 months. It was pretty back to back.
Yeah, one was out here in our hometown, PA. We had that killer that killed all them sorority girls up in.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we got some crazy motherfuckers out here. This dude was straight out of high school.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the thing.
He worked at Black Rock though.
No, that's what he was in a video and stuff. Some weird stuff. Definitely some
So-
weird stuff. How 2 people can get shots off at the president, former president or whatever, somebody with Secret Service and who's running for president at least, is beyond me.
That's
Yeah.
crazy. In the same time, like 3 month, 2 months time span, like
Yeah,
that's
they didn't
insane.
step it up after the first time is crazy.
Yeah,
But what do you think about that? You know what I mean? Political violence like that has never been seen in our generation, maybe in other countries, but that's pretty wild when, candidates could potentially just be assassinated. That's like, what was the last one that was successfully assassinated?
Kennedy.
Kennedy, right?
Yeah.
A long time ago. So are we
When
back,
was that?
Are we back to that?
When was that? 70s.
Yeah, 70s, I think, 60s, late 60s, 70s. Way before our time.
Yeah, I wasn't alive.
Yeah, neither was I. But like, is that the future? What do you think?
In America, well, this
In
is
America,
one thing.
This is America.
Yeah, this is
where it's
one
going
thing.
down. This is going down.
Assassinations have definitely still been happening all around the world. Like you go to Africa, like America ourselves has
No, yeah,
set up a good number of like coups out there. But this has not happened in America for at least the past 30, 40 years.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, this is definitely interesting. Is this the future? I don't know. I mean, I've been, like I said, I was out of the country, so I've been tapped out as far as America goes. But I do know, like, I haven't been back for that long, and that guy Trump, however much y'all hate him, has gotten 2 attempts on his life. Like, that's kind of crazy because, however, if you like him, if you hate him, if you love him, whatever, there are people in the country who are supporting him and think he should be president. That's just a fact. So the fact that it's easy enough to get a shot off of him when he's at a rally, when he playing golf, that's like actually insane. Like however much you hate him, like that's not what we're talking about. Like the fact that it's just that easy. Like is it really that easy? You think like is it that easy?
I guess.
Right,
Should it be that
yeah.
easy? The answer is no. But I mean, is it that easy? Well, 2 people just did it, so it can't be that hard. And they were lone actors, so they say. All by themselves, they were able to make this plot and successfully get a shots off at the president.
Yeah, that shit is like actually crazy. I don't think people realize how insane that is. Like people like were making fun of like the ear and shit. I'm like, do you understand how crazy that is? Well, that do you think that shit was like fake? Some people think
When
that
I
shit was
first
fake.
saw it, I thought it was fake. It looked kind of
Yeah,
like fake how it all happened.
they put his
You
fist
know,
up in the
yeah,
air.
it looked a little exaggerated, whatever. But I don't know. It is whatever it is. One of the things you have to think about of why this really matters, right? Is what if he does die? What would that do to our country? People would not take that shit lying down. I'll tell you
Nah, bro.
that. There are some supporters out there. The conspiracies would be flying. Just
Yeah,
taking half of the country's choice away. What happens then? I don't know, that's going to matter to all of us if
yeah.
that
Do you
happens.
think
So
it'd be worse if he died or if Kamala died?
I think it would be worse, probably if he died. To be honest with you,
Yeah.
I think people would be
So you
more
think Trumpers are
outraged.
crazy?
I think they would be more
They're
outraged,
more passionate about him as a
especially
person.
after there was already two tries,
Yeah.
and then the third time they let it happen. It's like no, that I'd be mad. I'd be mad. That's crazy. You know what I mean? It's like, dude, we tried twice, and now you let him actually die.
But
You
this is
guys,
my thing, like,
ultimate failure. Like Kamala would be like, that's on the sneak. Nobody expects that until the
and
first one. And if that one's successful, then they're like, oh shit.
yeah,
But a lot of people didn't pick her anyway. So
yeah, that's facts.
you know,
But this is my thing, right? And this is why this is like really so crazy. It's like American politics has been going down for like the last however many years, however wherever you want to start to count from. But the fact that we had a senile dementia patient, he's still the president, as our president right now, is like actually insane. And I don't think people realize how crazy we've become. So it's like what is like what's the future of everything, like forget the assassinations, like are we just putting whatever in the office, like are we that split as a nation that we'll force somebody who should be in a nursing home to be the president. And like just speaking on that tip, shit that matters, right? Everything going on in the Middle East. Like, this is a topic, a lot of people like to stray from, but us, we've never been things to stray from uncomfortable conversations. But, you know, whatever your opinion on Israel and Gaza is, that's that situation. And that situation is very tragic. And I just hope it gets resolved. But even more than that, Lebanon just got bombed by Israel, if I'm not mistaken, right?
that's correct. Israel got some new shit going on. That was the pager bombs, and then just regular bombs. That's crazy. So they like infiltrated Hezbollah communication system where they were using pagers and got them to over 500 people supposedly and detonated these in public everywhere. Thousands of people
That's
injured,
crazy.
many deaths.
Yeah, it
That's
says
like
right here,
terroristic,
live
right?
live count. Israel attacks Lebanon. Hezbollah responds as Israel raids kill 569 people. Over almost 2,000 wounded in various parts of Lebanon. And it's like, all right, however you feel about Gaza and Israel, I really don't know much about that to like have too strong of an opinion. I think it's messed up for sure. Like just the fact they getting bombed, I think that's fucked up. But we're not even talking about that. That's a whole nother part. Like that's a whole nother region, a whole nother country. And I don't know if Palestinians were fleeing to Lebanon and that's why they bombed them. They like are gonna cling on to this. Hamas was like trying to fuck them up or whatever. Hamas was trying to get away, but it's a fact that Israel just bombed another country. And I don't know where they got those bombs from. I don't know if they're American
I have
bombs
a
or
hunch.
what. But that is crazy. Like, is this all out World War III?
That's a good question. I mean, when does it become that? Because they have.
Because Lebanon, they attacked back. They fired a barrage of missiles at the air bases in Israel, attacked the naval base with drones, and they're waiting for the response of
And then it's back
everybody.
and forth. And
Yeah,
back and
they're
forth,
waiting for
right?
the UN and everybody. They called for the UN to
Well,
urgently de-escalate this
well
because they like, what?
whose fault do you think that is? If you had to assign blame based on what I mean, it sounds like if you're putting bombs into pagers and stuff like that. That is a well thought out. I'm trying
That's
to
crazy,
do
bro.
something crazy, and that's very terroristic.
That's
You know what I mean?
insane.
Because that's gonna instill terror in anybody when you're at the grocery store and a bomb goes off next to you.
That's
You know, I
crazy,
can't
bro.
believe that's just flies under the radar. Then like, oh yeah, no, that's cool. Israel, they can do
Yeah,
that.
when you were saying
They,
pager bombs, I didn't really know what you were talking about. They put bombs in
yep,
pagers.
pagers because
That's
Israel
insane, bro.
intercepted their cell phone communication, so they went to pagers. When people got the message, you'd bring it up to your face so you could read it, and then boom. So a lot of eye injuries, face to kill you, and stuff like that. So that was the result. Very terror. And then they also did natural bombs and stuff like that. They
So,
followed it
do you
up.
know like
Like,
oh, then they put actual bombs out there?
yeah, just dropping bombs. Like,
Okay,
oh, there was a
word.
terrorist in this house. Or,
Word. At least
you know.
they did the normal shit. So like what's the reason? Like, do you know why they said they did this?
I feel like they're like emboldened right now because
To just do
yeah,
whatever?
because they've done whatever they wanted, and obviously the only people that would stop them is the U.S. and we're not stopping them. We're enabling them. So they're like, all right, we know how it's gonna go now. We just didn't have the balls to try it before. Now that the
Yeah.
cat's out the bag, you ain't putting them back in. It's what
That's
they're
just
thinking.
crazy. And this is the thing, like when I was in Japan, I went to Hiroshima, right? And when I was in Hiroshima, like right in front of the A Dome, and the A Dome is where the first nuke ever was dropped, right on top of this building, like 400 meters above it. And I'm sitting there almost like 74, almost less than 80 years after this, right? And I'm looking at it, I'm like, wow, this is crazy. Like, this very spot I was in 80 years ago was so insane. And then when I was walking around on the other side, there was a Japanese person, a old gentleman, and he had a Palestinian flag and a sign that read in English, and I think it was in Japanese too, but it was definitely English. It said, "We vowed to never do this again, never happen, let this happen again." And yeah, I'm not saying that Israel is dropping nukes or whatever, but what they're doing to Palestine, what they're doing this shouldn't fuck like I'm not saying fuck Palestine, but just leaving that out the equation because a lot of people have a lot of feelings about that and that's already divisive. I don't know what Israel's explanation for doing this is, and hopefully, in the this just happened. So like hopefully in the coming days and hours that gets found out, but this is crazy. This is insane. This is like you said terroristic and this fucking matters, right?
Yeah, this definitely matters. And you said it. It's terroristic. They call these. They Israel claims someone is a terrorist, and then they can do whatever they want. Which is very much what the United States does. But now other people are starting to do it, and we can see. Okay, that's a problem when everybody's doing it. When you're calling them out, no terrorist got him. It's like whoa. We got to take your word for it too, right? Because they
What do
said
you
it
think the
was.
UN response to this is going to be?
Well, I know some of the countries are not as cool with this, but at the end of the day,
You think they're just going to let it fly?
like the U.S. or whatever has like veto power in the UN and whatever, so
But
they can't really do anything.
what do you think the US is going to do?
Nothing.
They just going to let it fly?
Yep, they're gonna restock them and let them roll.
Do you think like Biden or Kamala or Trump says anything?
Nah,
They don't even acknowledge it?
the only one that might is Kamala. I don't think she's a fan of it. I think Trump is a Netanyahu fan, and Biden's asleep. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So he's
it's
not a
crazy
fan.
how he's still the president, and since he dropped out of the race, and like Kamala's been the front runner, we haven't heard from that nigga in a minute.
Nope. He's off.
We
He's
we
vacationing.
yeah, bro, we ain't got a speech from the fucking president. Like we ain't heard from him since he turned in his resignation letter. He ain't even tell us. He was like, "Yo, I'm done. I'm done.
Yeah, he didn't really tell us. He said he's
I'm
dropping
done."
out of the race, but he didn't say he quit.
Yeah, bro. He was like, "I'm still the president. We're gonna beat Donald Trump."
Hmm. Yeah,
Yeah, bro.
he should have just been out, and why not? You know what I mean? And just let Kamala do all the work and just be chilling, man. You
Yeah,
know,
bro.
at
I
that
mean,
point, because like really, like no one's gonna respect what you're doing. They don't let you do much in the last couple months anyway. So
yeah.
I'd probably just dip out early.
Yeah, just officially let Kamala be the president. Yeah. Nah, that would be like a cheesy way for like the first like
No woman
female president
president.
is like on some fluky shit like that.
Got it from a white dude handed to
Damn.
her.
Nah,
Didn't earn
but
it.
like however you feel about, the election and everything, I don't know how it's gonna go. I'm uninvested to be quite honest. And I know some of y'all might be upset at that. But my thing is if I told you I was voting third party and not for your person, you'd say I'd throw away my vote. So you don't really even care who I vote for. You just want me to vote for your guy or gal. So yeah, I'm not participating. I don't really care who wins. Ultimately, I don't think that matters in the grand scheme of things. But this election season has been very interesting. Like I said, two assassination attempts on one of the candidates. Like, what else do you think is in store? Like last election, we got George Floyd, we had riots and stuff. Like this one, like it might seem on the surface not as crazy, but two assassination attempts. Kamala kind of ate up Trump at that debate, but that's another conversation in itself. Like, is there anything else crazy in store that's going to happen before before the election on what November 5th is it right something like that
I think
in
November
November?
4th, I believe.
Yeah, one of
Yeah,
those.
one of those. But yeah, no, it definitely some crazy shit I think is gonna happen. Look what happened last time. I mean, this we had to stop the steal supposedly. Does that happen again? I wouldn't be surprised if something like that happens. It's gonna be a close race. There's no doubt about that. It's gonna come down to a couple states. I don't know if you saw the one thing. The union president for Teamsters, so UPS, a bunch of other stuff, Amazon, Sports. I think they work with them all, but they had 60% in favor of Kamala. No, Trump. I mean, of Trump.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, 60% in favor
Damn.
of Trump.
The union?
The union,
That's a
the
lot of
union
niggas.
members. So then he said, so we're not gonna like officially endorse. He goes, but this is what our members are saying, and they're saying Trump right now. So you know, something to think about. You don't know. I know that if you drive around, what signs do you see more of? At least here in Pennsylvania,
I see a lot of Kamala.
I haven't found one yet. Tell me the neighborhood.
For real?
I haven't seen one.
On north side of shit,
I
I'll be
see
seeing a good amount
big
of
Trump
Kamala.
signs.
My, but as I say
I
that, my
see
neighbor is literally he
everywhere.
has a Trump sign, like literally like my next day.
Yeah, you see them everywhere. You do see them everywhere, and that's one thing. It's
I don't
more
be driving like that either.
enthusiasm. I wouldn't represent anybody. Like I'm not repping people like that. Not presidential candidates. Maybe Eagles or
My
something
thing
like
is
that.
like
But
if Trump could lose to Biden, I think he definitely gonna lose to Kamala.
no, he wasn't going to lose to Biden. I think he was going to beat Biden, and I think this is going to be really close. Watch, she has a lot of gaffes as well,
Mm.
and she doesn't really articulate anything. So people are looking to hear what her ideas are, and she's been a flip flopper like pretty much her whole life. So whatever the trend is where she's going. Which ultimately you got to have a backbone and stand for something, and she might get, you know, the truth might come out about that. It's like, all right,
Yeah,
this girl don't really say anything. She's just, you know, sounds good in a flowery speech, but there's no
there's no
real
substance behind
substance
it.
behind
Yeah,
it. Yeah, you just
yeah,
talking.
yeah. I mean, like
Confusing people is what she's doing right now.
exactly, and that's the thing. Like whoever you're gonna vote for, whatever issue is your issue, and like you care the most about, I think something that should be in the mind of every American, whether you're voting or not, but especially if you're voting, is the current debt crisis we're in. Like it's actually insane. Like it's to a point where like one COVID fucked us up. COVID really fucked us up for one. But it's to a point where like we're hearing these numbers and like when you think of debt, unless you're like buried in a lot of debt already, you're like, I want to get this shit paid off immediately. I don't want to be in debt. I don't want to owe people. And it's getting to the point where America as a country in a whole is in that poor bracket where it's like, man, I'm in so much debt. Fuck it. We just gonna keep we just gonna get more in debt, bro. Cause like we gotta send guns to, Israel and Ukraine
Right.
and whatever. But seriously though, like it's getting to a point where it's crazy. You want to unpack this debt crisis a little more?
Yeah, yeah. So this came up, because the Federal Reserve just lowered the interest rates, which a lot of people were saying they got to do that because we have to pay those interest rates on our debt too. So, when the interest rates are low, it's easier to pay that federal debt. But when the interest rates are high, our federal debt, we're paying so much on interest alone. We're not even buying new stuff. We're just paying for the old stuff.
That's
Still,
crazy that we're giving away.
yeah, and we're just giving this stuff away. Like that's the thing. We have so much money to give all these other countries to support all the immigrants that come in the country. All the weapons, all this crazy stuff. Give massive tax breaks to whoever. We have all this money in the world, but it's actually not. It's just credit racked up on our credit cards, and eventually, are we gonna ever have to pay that? What happens to that? Like it's at the highest level ever. It's growing at the highest level ever. Now they don't talk about reducing the debt. They talk about reducing the deficit, which is making the whole each year less. So we always go 1 trillion deeper into the hole. I'm going to reduce that to 800 billion instead of a trillion. How you like that? That's reducing the deficit.
Because you're getting taxed at 300% on our debt now, and that's where that other 300 billion going. To
Yeah,
debt,
exactly.
nigga. Yeah, so short answer is I don't know. I'm not paying that shit back. I'll tell you that much.
It's gonna dip.
Fuck. I'm 23. Like my frontal lobe just started developing. I just started realizing like what life is for real. So if you mean to tell me I'm gonna pay for niggas, well, not exactly you, but closer to that nigga's age and niggas that was his parents, I'm gonna pay for y'all debt. I'll be out this motherfucker before I do that. Because by the time that y'all are trying to force me to pay that debt, America's gonna be so in the shit that like having an American passport, like I might just gonna have to give me like a German passport or something, or fucking like a London passport. They good too. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm trying to be out. I'm a patriot, but the way the government is going right now, bro, like it's not much to be patriotic about.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, mate. As soon as I possibly can, like retire, I would definitely move abroad because it's and somewhere cheaper to live.
You're not even gonna get your retirement. You're not getting Social Security.
Hopefully I won't need that. You know what I mean? I'm saving money.
Facts, bro.
You know what I mean?
They gonna take that shit.
Nah, I'm getting the guns out. Then you know what I mean?
Okay.
Try to take my money. I'll go down. Assassination attempt on a bunch of people. Then you'll see me, Tommy. Don't do that. Tell everybody. You know what I mean? Don't play the games like that, government. Everybody, it would be mutiny if people start doing that sort of stuff. It's like take people's money or take their guns, and they're fighting.
Bro, I mean, we might end up like China, like they got the QR code or like the face scan, the social credit.
Social credit.
Yeah, that's what it's heading towards. Something like that. I don't know exactly what it'll be like, but something on that scale. I don't know.
Yeah, no. Well, one thing you got to look at too, like, and this could be a whole episode, but tied to somewhat the debt and things like that is the future of AI, and like that. Obviously, people say that's going to boost the economy by trillions of dollars, but in a lot of ways, it's also going to eliminate a lot of jobs. We're a consumer-based economy, so is that just like a couple companies getting really rich, and then do we get more inequality?
A couple of really rich companies getting really rich.
Right? Like they're not rich enough now.
Yeah.
Like obviously that would be bad. I think we're at a, we're at the Gilded Age already, or beyond that in terms of wealth inequality. So
yeah,
if we keep going in that direction, and if people are poor and have no purpose in life, I think we're going to have a lot of problems if that's the society we have.
Exactly.
You can give people universal basic income, but still they're going to need something to fulfill their life with.
Exactly, and I think that brings us to our final segment of the show is shit that might matter or shit that really should matter. And that's this, as you said, debt inequality. Like, the gap between being broke and rich has gotten so wide, it's actually crazy. Like, I remember, like, when I was, like, in middle school, like, my teachers and stuff, when, it wasn't supposed to be talking about this around kids, but you overheard them, they'll be talking about how, like, the middle class, like, there's no more middle class and it's evaporating and stuff. I didn't really know what they meant, like, I didn't know. I was a little kid. I was just, literally living. I didn't know anything. And now, like, now that I'm older and, like, I'm about to start having to, like, really pay bills and, like, understand credit and all this shit, like, I really understand what they mean by there's no more middle class. Because, one thing that, our presidential candidates, they keep saying, but they're kind of ignoring, is that the economy's doing great. The economy's booming. It's hitting all time highs. If you're invested, if you were smart with your money, you lit. You lit. I ain't gonna lie.
You could hit the market and call everything, but if you only invested $100, you're not gonna get much return.
Exactly.
You have to have money to make money.
Exactly, and that's the point. So it's this barrier to entry. So yeah. Now the real issue is, like, I went to the store other day. I remember when a loaf of bread used to cost 89 cents. It's like $3 now.
Yeah.
Some eggs, the eggs is still not that expensive, but stuff is just way more expensive. They moved the minimum wage up. Like, when I was at UPS, it went from like 15 to 20, but they fired me. They fired half the niggas, or FedEx.
They did the same thing this year. I think somebody had asked for like over 100,000 seasonal workers.
Yeah, bro.
Seasonal.
You about to be out as soon as peak season over. And yeah, the thing is like, prices of things keeps going up. The economy's supposedly doing good, but the average American is making, if not the same, less, especially according to the price of things, way less than we were 5 years ago. So, and if you look 10 years ago, if we just keep going back, so the wealth inequality is insane, and it correlates almost directly to this debt inequality, because it's not like you can't get groceries. You just got to put it on the credit card. And it gets to a point where, like, fuck it. Like, I'm already $20,000 in debt. What's another 5,000? Do that shit 5 times, you're another $25,000 in debt. So
you got a lot more consequences than the U.S. though if you do that.
Yeah, exactly. Like, the U.S. like, man, we gonna make it back. We're good. Yeah. You, hell nah. You're going to jail. You're going to jail, buddy. So what do you think the future of everything is with this debt inequality? Like, I know last year we said it was about 5 years. Now it's at 4. Like, what's the future? What you thinking?
Man, to be honest with you, I'm not optimistic about the future in this situation. There's just too much money in politics now. Like, that's where we'd have to make some of these changes. And the people that have the money are the only ones that can really control politics. And they're lobbying for things not to change. And they're pretty successful at doing that. So, I think that's going to be a problem. Until it gets to the point where it's so dire, where it's like, all right, we don't have a choice. We got to give in. And you see that sometimes, I guess, like with, I guess recently they were talking about a strike at the ports and things like that. If workers go on strike, but I mean, it's not going to be at a large enough scale with that sort of stuff, but that's what it's going to have to get. So, like, if AI displaces 30 million jobs, you got all those 30 million people angry and out there, something's going to get done then, because that would destabilize the country. Like, that's what it might take. Well, what else? What else do you see?
You think it would be like riots and and that's the thing. Like, I don't think like we've really sat down to like really observe where we're going as a country. Like, our last election cycle, something was proven, and that was that if people care enough about something, all over the country, not even just the country, the world, motherfuckers will riot. If enough people are passionate enough, especially with the opportunity of, like, niggas can steal shit because the economy's so bad, like people will riot in those streets. And it's getting to a point where like, yeah, right now the only thing we're passionate enough about is to write about politics, which is kind of stupid. But it's getting to a point where the average person don't give a fuck about politics. Like the average person is saying fuck Kamala and fuck Trump. They don't really care. They're trying to feed their family. They're trying to actually get something done for themselves. They're starting to realize that this political system is all a game, that neither side is really for them. So the average person is not falling for this trap again and again. So it might get to a point where like, all right, one side begins to win, and then they keep to just let down the people again and again, and it gets to a point where people are just like, enough is enough. And that's the thing. There's a lot more people than there are government official, police, military, and we can eat ourselves. I think we're gonna implode. Like that's what I think it's headed for. I don't know how long it'll take. I don't know if it'll be like really abrupt, like we're just the trajectory's like fast, 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 bang, hit the wall. If it's gonna be over time, I don't know. But I think like I don't know what 2030 looks like for America. And that's scary. And not in a good way. Not in a good way. The one good thing we got is like Elon. And most niggas don't like him.
Yeah, no, Elon's bringing some good stuff to the table, but you know he's championing the AI too, which I'm a fan of. But at the same time, like if we don't do the right thing with AI and the benefits that it brings to society, and all those benefits go to the few, then that's just going to make the problem worse.
Yeah.
So you know, is anything currently in place to make sure that everyone benefits from this, you know, supposed trillions of dollars of extra productivity and things like that it's going to bring? I mean, unless we're raising taxes or somehow the government is getting this money.
But how can you
doing
raise
something
taxes if
it has to be on corporations? You know, raising taxes.
they're not gonna do that?
Because they just lowered the taxes on corporations. But that's what you need to do. Back in the day, corporations paid taxes like 60, 70%, and they were still booming, and the people that owned them were mega rich, some of the richest people ever. Like Henry Ford, he got his money. Rockefeller, he had his money, and they were taxed like 90%. And
Lee Iacocca
were the richest. Lee Iacocca around here.
Yeah,
exactly.
Lehigh.
Exactly, Yacos.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, exactly.
Do you think people were right?
Eventually, I think that's like a tipping point.
How
like,
long?
Where it has to be a couple factors that would have to go into that. It's either a majority is being affected negatively by everything personally, like they lost their jobs, lost their income, and they're feeling their life deteriorate, or enough people did that those people that did are running amok and, you know, disrupting society to the point where it is affecting everybody. So one of those two things happens. So probably the last one will happen first, where it might not affect you, but it affected so many people that it's starting to affect you because people are robbing people, doing whatever they got to do to survive, I guess.
Yeah. Like America's like has gotten so crazy, and like especially me being out of the country, like I was out of the country for the first 5 months of the year, and like I was tapped out. I didn't give a fuck about I didn't care about nothing that was going on over here. And coming back and to just see the state we're in now, it's like crazy. And like I was talking to one of my so I did this internship over the summer, and it was it was in the international affairs office at my school. And I was talking like to one of the faculty members in there, and he was telling me like how after he graduated, he went to teach in another country. So like 23, 24, he got married, had a kid, like, and they all moved to the Middle East. I forget exactly what country it is. I forget. But they moved out there, and he taught out there all the way up until 2019, right?
Yeah.
So that was his life. That was his reality. He said he came back to America and was like, whoa, what happened? And then not only that, then COVID hit. So like he's like 5 years in now, being back, and like it's literally like imagine that reality switch. Like imagine like how insane of an experience that is, and That's what it's going to be like from now until 2030. Like, we're going to look back on these times right now. Like, hey, you remember when Trump almost got assassinated twice? Man, those was the good old times.
Right,
Like,
easy.
yeah, this is the fourth president we done went through this year.
Right? It could happen. But one other thing that to think about is, things happen a lot faster nowadays than they used to, too, with the, social media, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Information's traveling. So, maybe, with the way, like you just said, like 5 years ago, things like that, it's changed so much. Like, diversity, equity, inclusion didn't exist 5 years ago.
Bro, think about 2010. No way somebody would have predicted in 2020 niggas would have rioted and tried to take over the White House. No way nobody would have.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Nobody, like 10 years later, in 10 years, so imagine where we would have, from 2020, imagine where we're going to be at in 2030. We're 6 years away from that, almost 5. We're almost at the middle of the freaking decade. That fast.
Fuck.
Shit's going like that, bro. The Eagles still ass.
Is this the last decade? Eagles still the best in the NFC East. Tommy don't even have a team.
No, yeah, I don't. But that's the point though. That's the real point I'm trying to drive. It's like stuff's happening so fast. The internet, social media makes stuff seem so fast. But when you zoom out and you're like, dang, I'm this old. Let's say you're 20. And when I was 10, and what year was that? 2014. These was the biggest artists, like yada yada. Like that wasn't that long ago. Fast forward now, look how much life has changed. From 2020 to now, look like how much life has changed. Like, observe even your own personal life in the past year. How much have you grown? If not a lot, like, yeah, well, come on, man, you gotta get better. But come on, you can get better. You can get better. It's never too late, but it's definitely getting harder to get better easily. We in America. But the point is time is moving very fast, and social media and stuff is making it seem like everything's not going as fast as it is. That's because we're consuming so much. Like, there's 30 new viral things a day. So it's like, in our head, we'll think of a viral thing that happened on Tuesday as last week. Today is Tuesday.
Yeah. People can't even put their attention on the things that matter. That's the thing. What matters is we're talking about all this stuff, and it's hard to focus on what really matters because there's all that stuff.
And the things that really matter is your health, your family, and what you're doing for yourself. So if you're keeping track of everything that's going on, of all this Diddler news, if you're watching every second of every news source that brings out anything about the debate, but you think about where you were a year ago, whether you're in school, and if you're just a year older, like, if you haven't progressed in what you want to do, if you haven't grown, if you haven't gotten stronger, if you haven't gotten slimmer, whatever it is you want to do, then you're worried about the wrong shit. You're worrying about shit that does not fucking matter. So, today we talked about things that might matter, things that probably do matter or should matter, and things that possibly don't matter. And ultimately, everything we talked about, it's up to you whether it matters or not. That's the point of all
how much
this.
It matters.
How much any of this matter, because all of this is a matter of fact. All this is stuff that's going on in our life, in society right now that we're having to deal with. But depending on what your goals are and what you want to do is going to depend on where it falls in. Does it matter? Should it matter? It doesn't fucking matter. And, really, like, that's all it comes down to. But that about wraps up our show. We appreciate y'all for sticking with us for the first one. I'm excited. I'm excited for this new show. We want to hear y'all opinions, so connect with us on Instagram. Let us know what matters to you. Does the Diddler situation actually matter? We don't know. Are many people going to be involved? Is the Illuminati cabal finally going to come down? Is any of this shit relevant? Does any of this matter or not? You got any last words before we get out of here?
Just definitely, like Tommy said, go to Instagram, go to YouTube, put some comments on there. Tell us what matters to you. And we'll pick out the best comments and read them on the show to let everybody know what matters, the best comments.
Yeah. But all right, that's all for episode 1 of Matter of Fact. Thank you all. We appreciate all of y'all for sticking with us through this. And just know MDH TV is not dead. And the podcast is going to come back one day. I don't know when that day is going to be, but everything's going to be a lot better. And more on that soon. But for now, we'll catch you on the next one. This is Matter of Fact signing out. Peace.
Peace.